Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the daily newspaper analysis, our daily series known as Roznama. Now, today's newspaper is not as interesting as it has been in the past few days. So, we'll quickly begin. The first one, an important piece of news, and also I'm anticipating that this could be a probable question this year in your exam. They may ask you in the legal section, they may ask you in the GK section. GK probability is a little higher, so do keep this in news, okay? And along, keep yourself updated on this piece of news. And along with this, one more piece of news that you should keep on revising is the judicial impeachment processes, all right? Because Yashwant Verma, as of now, has not been impeached. The motion has been taken up. So these are two good, solid, knowledge-based questions that you must keep on preparing, okay? All right. Now, in yesterday's piece of news, the opposition party, the Congress party had sought to move a no confidence motion against the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. Now, generally, a no confidence motion can't be raised against the Speaker. Mostly, the motion that is raised can be a no trust motion or a censor motion. Okay, no confidence is mostly against the cabinet minister and the prime minister. All right. Okay. So here, the opposition MPs, they have submitted the removal notice, which has been backed by around 106 members of the parliament, and the entire reason being that the opposition members, they called the present speaker Om Bilra as being partisan in his stance. Partisan meaning that a speaker has to be a neutral person, and whosoever is given to administer the office of the speaker at the beginning of the Lok Sabha after the elections, that person has to give up his seat or his membership of whatever political party it was that he got his ticket and got elected as the speaker. Okay. So that this giving up his political membership and giving up his seat as an MP, etc., has been facilitated or has been undertaken for this very reason only, that the speaker has a balanced and has a neutral stance in the Lok Sabha, so that each and every member of the Lok Sabha, be it member of the majority party or be it members of the opposition party, they must be given the right to voice their opinion. So of late, the opposition members, they've said that the speaker is partisan in nature, that is, he has inclinations towards the majority party, due to which he does not permit or does not let the opposition keep their voices in the Lok Sabha. So due to this, the opposition members have moved the removal notice against the speaker of the Lok Sabha. All right. So this is what this particular article talks about, that they've moved the no trust motion against the speaker, and they've submitted this to the Secretary General of the Lok Sabha. All right. And this has been done by the India Bloc. India Bloc is the opposition alliance. Okay. All right. And what they've said is that he is partisan in his stances and he does not maintain a neutral stance again in the proceedings of the House. All right. Okay. Then another piece of news that I just wanted to highlight is because Om Bilra is the speaker of the Lok Sabha and it is against him that the notice has been issued. So he will stay away from the proceedings of the House till a final say on the removal process has been given by the Secretary General of the Lok Sabha. All right. So he said that he will not be presiding over the House till on moral grounds, in the sense that it is his own wish that he is going to stay away from the proceedings of the House till a final say comes on the fact that whether a removal process has to be undertaken in the Lok Sabha for his removal. Okay. The same piece of news from another newspaper, where the no trust motion has been taken up against the speaker of the Lok Sabha and he has agreed to stay away from the proceedings. All right. Okay. Then another news that I wanted to flag for you all, and especially the July charter. Okay. Now, you all know that last year there was massive protest in Bangladesh by the students There were younger students only that had undertaken this protest, and they had protested against the then government of Awami League led by Sheikh Hasina. And they said that the government is, not undertaking concrete steps towards removal of unemployment and providing better job opportunities, reservations, etc. to the youth of Bangladesh. So frustrated from all of this, they protested against her. Sheikh Hasina, to save herself, she fled from Bangladesh, and as of now, she's residing in India in exile and in asylum. All right. Now, it has been 1 year, and after the removal of Sheikh Hasina from Bangladesh, the government was led under an interim government stance under the leadership of Muhammad Yunus. Okay, so now the elections are supposed to be undertaken in Bangladesh on the 12th of February. So here, naturally, these elections are much anticipated, and the interim leader, Muhammad Yunus, he is absolutely, very, very forward looking towards this, and he's made this point that whosoever gets elected to the elected as the government, he will very soon get him to give him transfer powers from himself to this particular person. All right. And also there was a July charter that they had introduced in the parliament or constituent assembly of Bangladesh, which sought to bring about certain changes in the entire political structure of Bangladesh. All right. So on this also, on the July charter, which seeks to amend the constitution and seeks to impose certain limits on the prime minister of the country, will also be put to vote, and a decision will be made on it on the basis of a referendum. Now, what is a referendum? A referendum is a popular vote that is extended to the people in the country, and it is through this vote that they finally decide. If majority of the people vote in favor of it, then the decision aligns with them. If majority of them vote against it, then the decision aligns with the people against it. Okay, so referendum is a popular voting system, which also entails one of the methods to practice direct democracy, where anything that the government seeks to do in the country is directly put to vote through the people only, and the people themselves agree whether they want such a change in the country or not. All right. So two things that you must keep in mind is the July Charter and referendum. The July Charter is like an amendment to the constitution which seeks to limit certain powers of the prime minister in the country. All right. And the elections are set to take place in on the 12th of February, after which whosoever will be elected by the people, the present interim leader of the country, Muhammad Yunus, is going to transfer power to that particular person. Okay. All right. Then another piece of news, now recently of late, in the past 2-3 days also, I've flagged this for you all, that post the US-India tariff deals, the farmers have been protesting. And today we get one more reason as to why the farmers are upset. And that is that certain pulses are also, put in the category of zero or reduced tariff list that India is going to impose on USA. Okay. Now, as of now, what are these certain pulses? This we do not know, but in the draft that has been released in terms of the interim agreement on the trade deal between India and US, there has been a mention of certain pulses. All right. So now this again, as of now, the farmers were only protesting on reduced tariffs or zero import duties on sorghum, soy, on cotton and on corn. Now we also have another one, which is pulses in news. Okay. So do keep this also in mind. And also yesterday, 10th of February, we had World Pulses Day. Yes, World Pulses Day, which was also given in the top 5 of GK Roznama. So do ensure that you go read that. So 10th of February was World Pulses Day. Also last year, the government has undertaken a scheme which is Atmanirbharta in pulses. Okay, Atmanirbharta in pulses. And under this program, it is a 6-year program from 2025 to 2031. And under Atmanirbharta in pulses, the government seeks to bring about self-sufficiency in 3 pulses: urad, masoor, and tur dal or arer dal. All right. So 3 pulses are targeted under Atmanirbhar and Pulses program, which is a 6-year program launched by the government last year. Okay. And also pulses form a significant component in India. Why? Because mostly people in India have a vegetarian diet, and we tend to have a daily meal which is dal, rice, etc. So the population, the Indian population, consumes large quantities of pulses in our daily food habits, daily eating habits. So India is the largest consumer of pulses, and ironically, we are also the largest producer of pulses. And Madhya Pradesh in India is the state which produces the largest pulses, largest quantities of pulses. And also, in spite of being the largest producer in the world, we are also the largest importer of pulses. So we naturally do undertake import of pulses from other countries. So India, in aligning with this entire idea that we as it is need to import pulses from outside, because our population is too much dependent on pulse intake to meet their daily protein requirements. So keeping in mind that only, this decision might have been undertaken. But as of now, we are still dealing with the interim deal. We are still waiting for the final proposal and the final structured deal to come out for us. And then we'll again have a say. Okay. All right. Then another important piece of news that I wanted to flag for you all is that India is going to procure 6 more P-81 submarine P-81 aircrafts, which is a multi-role, long-range maritime reconnaissance anti-submarine warfare aircraft. Okay. Now, Boeing P-81 is the name that you have to keep in mind. Anything that mostly comes under the name of Boeing is something that is brought to India from the United States of America. All right. So, along with the trade deal, we've also struck a defense deal with the United States of America, where we are going to procure P-81 submarine aircraft, P-81 aircraft. अब ये क्या है? These are multi-role, long-range, maritime reconnaissance. Okay, now what does reconnaissance mean? Reconnaissance means mapping, drawing a blueprint, getting an idea of the terrain region. Okay, so this aircraft will be, operated on maritime ships, on naval ships, and naturally will be put aboard, put in air, and the purpose would be to do a mapping of all the surrounding areas. So reconnaissance simply means to draw a blueprint to get a fair idea of something that is happening. Anti-submarine warfare aircraft, anti-submarine, that these aircrafts are also have this entire role of destroying submarine warships that are inside the water surface, beneath the water surface, which become a little more difficult to trace from outside. Okay, so this we are going to take from USA, and all these procurement that India does, it does under a program which is known as defense acquisition procedure, and this has been outlined since 2020. Okay, and under the defense acquisition procedure, we've also established the Defense Acquisition Council, which undertakes all the negotiations in these terms. Okay, all right. So this is P-81 that has been shown here. All right. Okay. Okay, then another piece of news that of late India is holding many international summits, bilateral talks, etc. Like yesterday we had a talk with the defense minister of Greece, then our prime minister was in Malaysia, and now we have our foreign secretary Vikram Misri, who is going to meet his Chinese counterpart Ma Zhao. All right. So we all of us know that from 2020, post the Galwan crisis, the relations between India and China are not very warm, are not very good. So naturally, we are negotiating with China on innumerable issues. So this article just talks about that what probably could be undertaken with China in this particular meet, and also two major things, that is border peace and trade would be the thing that will be talked about most. Okay, now this is significant because naturally the entire problem is along the line of actual control LAC. LAC is the line that is in the that borders India and China in the Aksai in Ladakh in the Aksai Chin region, and we also call this during the McMahon line of Northeast India. Okay? So we have two basic border disputes with China. One in the western side of the country, which is in the Aksai Chin region, that is in Ladakh, where China says that the entire Aksai Chin region belongs to China and not to India. Now, this entire dispute of Aksai Chin is naturally a border dispute which can be traced back to the year 1865 and to the year 1893. Okay. Now, in 1865, there was a boundary commission, and that established a line known as the Johnson line. Okay. Now, what did the Johnson line say? The Johnson line said that the Aksai Chin region is a part of India. All right. Then, just a few years later, in 1893, we had another commission, which is known as the MacDonald line, and this MacDonald line, this said that the Aksai Chin region belongs to China. Okay. Now, it has been a dispute since then. India naturally gives recognition to the Johnson line, and China gives recognition to the MacDonald line. Okay. The McMahon line is the line that separates India and China in the Arunachal Pradesh region. This line was brought into existence through the 1914 Shimla Treaty. This Shimla Treaty was signed between the British, the people of Tibet, and the people of India. Okay. So, as per the 1914 agreement, Arunachal Pradesh is a clear-cut part of India. China, on the other hand, says that Tibet back then was not under the part, was not a part of China. Chinese leaders were not a part of this particular agreement, so China does not give recognition to the McMahon. All right. So naturally, since many years, specifically since the 1962 war with China, border disputes are one thing that always take a backseat when it comes to negotiations, because since 1962 till today, we've not been able to come to a conclusive closure in terms of border disputes. All right. So these are the two things that it will be. This is one thing that they'll be talking about, and the second thing is naturally the BRICS Sherpa meeting. Sherpa is the term that is used for the person who is going to be heading the entire summit. All right. Naturally, this will take place because India has taken up the chairship of BRICS 2026. So the 18th BRICS summit is to be hosted by India. All right. So this is what the article talks about. Do go through it. It's an important piece of article. Naturally, further updates as and how the newspaper gives us will also be taken. Okay. All right. Then another important one that I wanted to flag for you all is that the government brought in amendment to the Information Technology Act of 2021. Okay. And this Information Technology Amended Act, IT Act 2021, said that all the AI generated content that is found on various social media platforms that has been undertaken by various individual companies, persons, etc., it has to be flagged that the particular content is AI generated, it is false news, it is fake news, and also if it is something which in any way harms anybody, be it mentally, be it physically, in any XYZ manner, that content has to be removed. Okay. Now this act is to be enforced on the 20th of February. Previously, the entire timeline for removal and flagging of AI generated content was 36 hours. Now it has been reduced to 3 hours, and sensitive content including non-consensual deepfake must be removed within 2 hours. All right. So this is something that has been brought up since yesterday only, and is something that is of significant importance. So do go through this article. It is important. Now coming to the editorials for today. Today we have certain lovely pieces. All right, now because we have artificial intelligence which is taking up the grounds of late, this particular article, it's a wonderful article which basically talks about the pros and cons of artificial intelligence and what are the various things that must be undertaken, various steps that must be undertaken in terms of, you know, removal of the ill effects of too much dependence on artificial intelligence. All right, so do go through the article. It is a good one that you must be going through. All right, now another article, all of us know that 3 days back, Sana Takaichi was popularly elected as the first female prime minister of Japan. So it was a significant feat that Japan got its first female prime minister, and not only is she the first female prime minister, but the party that she is representing, that is the Liberal Democratic Party, the same party to which the former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe also belongs to, got a landmark victory, winning around 316 seats out of 465. All right. So now the article just talks about that what are the various mishaps or problems that she might face in her tenure, and how can she actually maneuver. Although it is said that Ms. Takaichi enjoys warm ties with US President Donald Trump, she also faces pressure from Washington to move towards a more militarized security posture. All right, so it is a good article which talks about her pragmatic approach towards USA as well as China. So do give it a read and keep in mind that Sana Takaichi is the first female prime minister of Japan. Very, very important. Okay. All right. Then this particular article gives you the entire process as to how a censor motion or no confidence trust motion against the speaker, if it is taken away, taken up, what is the process and what happens. All right. So here, when you begin on the article, it gives you that the opposition moved the no confidence motion against the Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla. Why? Because they said that he has a partisan outlook towards the majority party. All right. Then it is a wonderful article. Do go through. Very, very important. It says how can the Lok Sabha Speaker actually be removed, or can he be removed? So it says that according to practices and procedures governing the conduct of legislative business in the House, the Speaker or the Deputy Speaker can be removed by a resolution of the Lok Sabha passed by a majority of all the then members of the House. Okay, that a resolution first has to be tabled where a majority of members in the House they give acceptance to the fact that there is a need to remove the particular person. This has been provided for under Article 94 Part C. Article 94 itself talks about vacation, resignation and removal of the speaker and deputy speaker, and under Article 94 it is Part C which talks about the removal of the speaker. All right, then what are the conditions under which they can be removed? So again, it says that this office of the speaker will fall vacant if they cease to be a member of the House of the People. If they are not a member or they are not an elected MP anymore, they will have to be removed. May at any time they can resign. Part C says that they can be removed by a resolution of the House of People passed by a majority of all the then members of the House. All the then members of the House meaning that all the members that are present. And then what is the procedure of removal? Then whosoever wants to remove the particular person, he has to, or a group of people, they have to give it in writing to the Secretary General of the Lok Sabha. This notice may be given by 2 or more members jointly, but no resolution for the removal of such officials moved under Clause C can be moved unless at least a 14-day notice has been given. Okay, so in case somebody wants to pick up from the Lok Sabha, wants to take up a removal motion against the speaker, then they must first give a 14-day notice, and only then after that can a resolution be moved. All right. Okay. Has the motion of no confidence been submitted against the Lok Sabha deputy speaker in the past? Yes, it has been undertaken thrice. So do keep it in mind in 1954, 1966 and 1987. All right. Then is there any guideline? According to rule 200A, resolution needs to be specific with respect to charges. All right. They have to clearly mention as to why are they undertaking the entire removal process, and it shall not contain arguments, inferences, expressions, etc. It has to be very, very clear as to why are you removing the said person. All right. Now, what happens if it is admitted? Firstly, more than 50 members have to agree to moving the resolution in the Lok Sabha. If more than 50 people agree, then the deputy speaker is going to announce that it has been permitted that the resolution may be put to vote. All right. Okay. Then on a point, then after they say that the resolution can be taken up, but it has to be taken up after at least a period of 10 days. So if it is admitted today, then after 10 days, they are going to put on a date that on this particular date, they will put this particular motion on to vote. All right. Okay. Then if the people vote to it by a simple majority, so if they pass by a majority, they vote to it, then the speaker is said to be removed. If they do not vote in majority, that is fall short of majority, then the person will not be outvoted and the speaker is going to sustain his position. All right. Okay. The next article, I have taken this up multiple times. I just wanted to flag it to you all again. Let's just go through it. Keep it in mind because naturally sports is one section that is one of the questions in the GK section. So do keep this particular piece of news in mind. So what is the news actually about? That for this time, India is hosting the T20 World Cup along with Sri Lanka. Citing security reasons, Bangladesh had said that they do not wish to play the matches in India, etc., because they have significant security threat. To which the ICC had replied that if Bangladesh does not stoop down, then Bangladesh will be replaced, and accordingly, Bangladesh was replaced with Scotland. Following this, Pakistan also said that Pakistan does not wish to play the match, and initially Pakistan had signed the contract. Now, if you sign a contract, then it becomes legally binding, and if you withdraw from the contract, then naturally legal implications will follow. Okay, so Pakistan initially had agreed to play the match, but then the team said that there is political pressure from their politicians saying that they must boycott the match with India. All right, so Pakistan said that they wish to breach the contract, over which ICC said that serious implications would follow. All right. So as of now, Pakistan has agreed not to boycott the match. However, they will not be playing in India. The match is scheduled to take place in Colombo, and the Pakistan ex-cricketer Mohsin Naqvi, who is also chairing or is also one of the parties to the ICC, he's also asked the Pakistan team to play the matches and not boycott it. Okay. All right. Then coming to the next editorial for today, an important one. Why? Because it talks about setting up data centers in the country. Now, data centers, cloud services, etc., are extremely important given today's entire, global scenario, working on global supply chains, working on artificial intelligence, etc. And this particular article actually talks about the fact that in this year's union budget, the government had said that it is going to give a tax holiday to any international company who is willing to set up data centers in the country. Tax holiday meaning that they will be exempted from paying any tax on their incomes or setting up, etc. And this exemption or tax holiday will be given till the year 2047. So she's saying that it is a 21-year tax holiday, which is fine. But it is not only the tax holiday is not enough to incentivize for setting up data centers in the country. They have to do other things also, like facilitating ease of doing business, like ensuring that whosoever is coming into India, they get a fair profit also out of all of this. And also they must have a, themselves, India themselves should have a good, regional logistical hubs, good cloud infrastructure, that everything can't be brought in from outside. Okay, so do go through this. It's a good article. All right, now again a wonderful article, a very well put in article by Yogendra Yadav. All right, now this particular article actually talks about that in this year's budget specifically, how the government has sort of sidelined the farmers. So when I was actually taking the budget session for you all, you must remember that this year the budget announced 3 kartavyas, and the entire budget seemed to only be focusing on the manufacturing sector. Major impetus this year has been given to the manufacturing sector. Okay. This year, manufacturing sector was something that has been given major impetus on. However, till the last year at least, the budget did talk about a specific, with specific importance and specific stress on the andatas, that is the farmers. All right. So the article begins with this fact only, that the farmers this year only received a mere meager mention in the third kartavya, no outright mentioning of the farmers. So till last year, who were the andatas in the country now have somehow become the becharas. Then he's also drawn a wonderful comparison telling us that how the total expenditure has fallen consistently in terms of agriculture and allied activities. So in 2019-2020, the entire expenditure was 4.19%. Now in 2025, it has fallen to only 3.06%. And if we did not have the Kisan Samman Nidhi, then the actual budget is only 1.7%. Okay. So it is actually a major, this thing that India, as of now, they are not focusing much on the upliftment of the farmers. And then naturally, he's drawn a major understanding to the entire trade deal with the USA. Also saying that no MSP has been outlined. So the article talks about that this particular trade deal, which has put outside, which has, imposed zero tariffs on cotton, on soya, on corn, and now also certain pulses have been outlined for it. It draws a very sad picture that maybe the farmers are not being looked after by the present government anymore. The government is too much engrossed in pushing forward the manufacturing sector. Also moves forward, draws certain contrasts from history, saying that people like Chaudhry Charan Singh was the one person who had during the first 5-year plan ensure that maybe a little bit mention of the farmers could be made. So it's a good article. Do go through it. It talks about how the farmers have been left out this year, and various trade deals are also now focusing mostly on manufacturing and not too much on the farm sector. Okay, so it's a good article. Do go through it. Now coming to terminologies, I just and brief news in brief, just wanted to flag this off that now on the 16th and 17th for a 17th 18th for a 2-day visit, we have Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, visiting India for improving bilateral ties. Now this is important given for the last 1 year, India has done actually wonderfully well in terms of negotiating trade deals, and the amount of foreign negotiations that India has undertaken. I mean, we began with the United Kingdom and India Free Trade Agreement, Comprehensive Economic Trade Agreement, all right, which was actually UK's 4th trade agreement. India was the 4th one to which United Kingdom undertook a agreement, and then we had it with the EFTA countries, Europe Free Trade Area countries, which has 4 countries like Norway, Switzerland, Liechtenstein. Then we had the European Union Free Trade Agreement coming in, the Republic Day, then US, and now we also have Macron coming into India to undertake the entire bilateral talks. And he's naturally not only coming for this, he's here to attend the AI Impact Summit. Last year, the AI Impact Summit was in Paris, and it was co-hosted with India. India was a co-host to it along with Paris. This year, India is hosting the summit. So it is important. Just 2 days back, India had even launched the 7 chakras of the AI Impact Summit and the 3 core areas where it would be focusing. So the article tells us about the various things that they are supposed to be talking about. India-France strategic partnership, India-France year of innovation. They are going to inaugurate this as India-France year of innovation 2026. So do keep in mind 2026. India-France year of cooperation, ASEAN-India maritime cooperation. All right, it's an important year. Okay, then the next one, because he is coming to India, So naturally, there is also talks of the Rafale aircraft procurement. So India has undertaken a Rafale deal with Rafale aircraft jets from France, and it is projected that the Indian Air Force needs to procure around 114 aircraft. All right, Indian Air Force already operates 36 Rafales, and Indian Navy would be inducting 26 Rafales in the next few years. All right, so it is important to go through this article. Okay, then another thing, just wanted to flag it for you that the chairperson of ISRO, that is V. Narayan, he just flagged that, India is, needs to have international cooperation also to give wings to its, give wings to its India's space programs. All right. Next one, just a term that you must know, the Lunar New Year celebrations. It takes place in China, and it is more than a 500-year-old practice. All right. And the last piece of news for today, just wanted to flag for you all that this year the Smithsonian's National Museum of Art in US, they've announced that they are going to return 3 bronze sculptures: the Shiva Nataraj, the Soma Skanda, and Saint Sundarat with Paravai Nataraj. 3 bronze statues, not Nataraj, 3 bronze statues will be given to India this year. Okay, so they were forcefully taken from India, stolen from, removed illegally from temple settings. Okay, that was one important piece of news that you must keep in mind. And this is also one piece of news that I wanted to flag for, just to keep in mind that recently the India US deal was undertaken, and the President of United States of America did come out and about and say things like India has agreed to, stop buying Russian oil, etc. So just Russia has flagged its own concern that they really hope that the US trade deal will not, hinder or do away or, negatively impact the India-Russia ties. Well, naturally, it will not, because Russia has always been one country which has stood by India and all its adversaries. So naturally, India would also not do the same thing. All right. So that was everything for today's Roznama, and I hope you all had a wonderful time. And I'll see you tomorrow with the next one. Thank you.